Basketball is back, everyone. The NBA Finals return Thursday night. The Lakers host Orlando. I'm Dave Morris, and I'm joined by the Oklahomans' expertise here, Darnell, Mayberry, and Mike Baldwin. Let's get into it. Let's talk Lakers, Magic here. What can we expect from this series?
I think it's going to be an entertaining series. I mean, when you look at the Lakers, the second best team in the NBA this year, behind the Cavaliers and the Magic, sort of a surprise team in the NBA Finals. Everybody picked the Celtics before KG went down, and then LeBron and the Cavaliers. The Magic was sort of the dark horse. You knew that they were the third best team in the East, but the way that they've come out in these playoffs and surprised everybody, I think they're going to put up a good fight in the NBA Finals.
You know, the Lakers really ran away with the Western Conference. It was never in doubt most of the season. But in the East, it was three teams. It was Boston, Cleveland, and Orlando. Orlando started strong. Jameer Nelson went down, and then they rebounded, and they're playing great right now.
And there's some debate whether Jameer Nelson is going to play in this series.
Well,
if he
apparently
does,
he's been practicing.
How effective is he? I don't know. It sounds like he may be playing possum. He probably won't play, but if he does, how effective would he be? That will be the sort of subplot to this whole thing, because the one thing people forget to remember, they were 2-0 against the Lakers this year. Swept the season series, but Jameer Nelson played in both games.
One of the things that they did in those series is Jameer Nelson really lit them up, much like the Houston point guards did. Is that something the Lakers need to be worried about?
I wouldn't think so with Alston. That's what I'm saying. And that's where the matchup advantages. The Magic had on Cleveland. It flip-flops, and the Lakers have the matchup advantages in this series. I mean, Dwight Howard's the best rebounder in the league, but the Lakers are a better rebounding team. I think a lot of it comes down to the three-point shot. I mean, Orlando is second in the league in the 10 a game they make. The nights they make 10, 11, 12, they usually can play with about anybody. And the one thing I don't think anybody's giving Orlando enough credit is they've got an underrated defense. They won in the playoffs with defense. They were ranked third in defense during the regular season, and they really got out on Cleveland. That's where the matchup problems happen, as much on the defensive end as it was the offensive end, and they made LeBron do a lot of things by himself. That flip-flops against the Lakers a little bit, but these guys aren't a shoddy defense. They're pretty good.
Do the Lakers match up against that three-point threat better than Cleveland?
I think so. I mean, you look at the defenders that the Lakers have. I mean, they've got Kobe Bryant, Trevor Ariza, Luke Walton coming off the bench, Lamar Odom. They've got guys who are long and athletic and can close out and defend those three-point shooters a lot better than the Cavs defenders did. Delonte West, Mo Williams, Daniel Gibson. Those guys were all 6'1", 6'2" guys. They couldn't get up and put a hand in Rashard Lewis and Hedo Turkoglu's face. Trevor Ariza and Kobe Bryant will be able to do that.
Let's talk some players and matchups real fast. Let's start with the coaching, first of all. Phil Jackson versus Jeff Van Gundy. Who's got the advantage there?
Well, we're arguing about it in the paper tomorrow. Over the career, it's not even close. Jackson's got all the rings, trying to get the records. But I say in the playoffs, Van Gundy's had a slight edge. The Lakers are lethargic. That goes to coaching. I mean, when you're fiddling around with the Rockets and some of these other teams that you should be just either sweeping or winning in 5 and you're getting pushed to the end, that's a coach not being able to motivate. Van Gundy had a couple kinks, but remember, since Dwight Howard called him out after Game 5 in the Celtics series, they are 6-2. He stayed up till 5 in the morning. He had a team meeting the next day, and they've played very good basketball in Game 6 and 7 against the Celtics. Technically swept the Cavs, if you really want to get down to it. It could have been a 4-game series very easy if that, one call or one basket, however you want to look at it's made. That I think they've played very well. He was on the brink of being fired. Instead, he's got his team playing his best basketball of the year.
Darnell, anything to read into the last 2 times Phil has been to the finals? Hasn't worked out for him?
Well, I mean, you have to look at it and think that Phil's going to use that to his advantage. I mean, he's going to use those lessons that he learned last year in that series against the Celtics and try to take what he learned and what didn't go well, use it against the Magic this year. I think the experience that Phil Jackson brings is going to give him the edge. He's got 9 titles, he's been to the finals 2 other times. Van Gundy, this is his first time at the finals. You remember when Miami won the championship, Pat Riley stepped in,
sure.
moved Sam Van Gundy to the front office or somewhere else. So, I think when you look at the experience that Phil Jackson has, it clearly gives him the edge.
All right, bigger superstar is going to have a bigger impact on this series, Kobe or Dwight, or somebody we're not thinking about.
Well, it's got to be Kobe just because he's MVP last year, arguably the best player in the game, arguably the best closer in the game right now. The game on the line, last minute or two, LeBron was up and down. He had his moments, not some moments. Kobe usually comes through. But Dwight Howard scoring 40 in a game they knew they probably had to win to close out that series. That's the one thing I like about the adjustments they made late in their other series is that three-point, it opened it up for Dwight, and they were getting the ball, the inside-outside game, the pick and roll, all those things were working well. I think it'll still come down to which team plays the best defense, but Orlando's offense is working well. I mean, he fired off all the weapons. Try Rashard Lewis and Pietrus and Turkoglu. I mean, just go around. They got 5 or 6 guys. You throw them that ball, they might score. So that's why I think they got a shot. They're the underdog, but Orlando's playing pretty decent basketball right now, and that's why they're in the finals instead of the Cavaliers or the Celtics.
Kobe or Superman?
I'm going to go with Kobe, but I think the dark horse will be Paul Gasol. I mean, when you look at the way he's played recently of late, especially that Denver series, I think he could be the X factor. Dwight Howard can only guard either Andrew Bynum or Paul Gasol. I think whichever one he doesn't take, I think he's going to have to start with Bynum. Paul Gasol is going to have a tremendous matchup advantage.
All right, we'll go out with this. Predictions.
I say Lakers in 6, but Orlando has an outside shot. Most people giving them no shot, but no people gave them a shot really against Celtics once they got down, or the Cavs. I think Lakers in 6, but I think Orlando may give us a real entertaining series.
I'm going to go 5. Lakers, I think, going to take the first 2. I think they will lose game 3. The first game in Orlando is going to be a rowdy crowd, and then I think they're going to win the next 2. So I think Lakers in 5.
We didn't get the puppet matchup. We didn't get Kobe versus LeBron. Ratings, good or bad for this series?
I think that'd be pretty good. I think that's where Dwight Howard, at least being on the Olympic team, one of the dominant center on the rise, will help. It's not Kobe, LeBron, everybody expected. But I think it suffers a little bit to what everybody wanted. But I think it'll be okay. One, because the Lakers are going to, I mean, you can put them against, one of the local high schools, and I think the ratings will be decent. But I think Howard and Orlando is entertaining enough. I think there's some intrigue, especially if Orlando can win one of the first 2 or 3 games and at least stretch it out a little bit.
I think it's actually gonna help that they brought out those puppets. I mean, that ticked a lot of people off. People didn't want to see LeBron, Kobe after a while when those puppets got started. So I think the fact that you have some new blood in there, I think is gonna sort of energize some people to watch these finals.
Funny thing about this is we have Mike Baldwin and Darnell Mayberry puppets for next week, just for the finals. All right, be sure to check their expertise on newsok.com, both everyday and daily coverage and in their blogs, and of course, every day in the Oklahoma.